this woman here as she's laying down in the grass, nice and relaxed on her back. Looks like she's having a good time based on the look on her face. Yeah, her body, just like yours, just like your central nervous system, is determining what level of muscle contraction is appropriate for this posture. So whether you're sitting, standing, lying down, your body all the time is trying to figure out, okay, where do I need to contract and how much contraction do I need to feel stable and comfortable in whatever position I'm in. We're going to explore here the muscle spindles and what role they play in that, in your body deciding how it needs to organize itself in terms of muscle contraction. So the muscle spindles, where are they exactly? Well, they are all over the body in the skeletal muscle. So if we look closely, we can see the lines, the fibers running in certain directions. And yeah, wherever we look, we can see the fibers running in those directions. Whichever directions they run in are the directions that the muscles can contract in. So if we zoom in on some muscle here, and we see here the muscle attaches to the bone via the tendon, the skeletal muscle specifically, because its role is to move the skeleton around space. And we zoom in, and we zoom in, and we zoom in, we see here we have muscle fibers, and we have this collection of muscle fibers. And when we look even more closely at that, so we see like those little cylinders. Now translate those cylinders into these cylinders coming across here. If we zoom into those, certain muscle fibers have something wrapped around them, and those are the muscle spindles. And we're going to look at now how the anatomy of those translates into your subjective experience of having muscle stretch. So zooming in even more on this section right here, or more stripping things away and making this look more simple, we can see that when the muscle is contracted, they kind of bulge out. The spindles bulge out and become closer together. And in the stretched scenario, they become longer apart and closer together this way. So that experience there, that anatomical experience, is what you experience subjectively as a stretch. This information now, the position of the muscle spindles, needs to leave the muscle and go to another part of the body to then have a reaction. So here we have you can see the muscle spindles are attached to this, says here, afferent axon. So afferent just means the sensory neurons. So the receptors are then connected to nerves, and those go upward into the body, either to the spinal cord. They mostly all go to the spinal cord and then to the brain. And we're going to explore here how some go just to the spinal cord and then back to the muscle. But that is the afferent system. So that's the system that is sensing. And then we have the efferent system, which in the example of muscles is the motor system. And we can see here, so these here are the end of the nerves that attach to the muscles that can tell the muscles to contract. And we have those both on the regular extrafusal muscle fibers, the ones that do most of the heavy lifting. We also have them on the intrafusal muscle fibers that have the muscle spindles attached to them. And we can see it leaves the muscle in this way and then goes. So here's one example. We had it leaving the muscle, and we have it going to the spine, and then from the spine going up to the brain, the motor cortex of the brain. And we have two different images here that I've put on one page. In this example, so this is where the muscle spindles serve both the purpose, or I'm showing both how they serve the purpose of the subjective experience of feeling the stretch, and also this automatic reflex experience of the muscle spindle stretching, sending information to the spinal cord, and then motor nerves automatically adjusting based on that. So here, if you look here, we have muscle spindle sending sensory information to the spine. This right here goes directly back to the muscle and fires motor. So this system is working all the time and you're not really aware of it. It's kind of nice that we don't have to put all this mental bandwidth on the system all the time to be too much to think about, but that also means that it runs below the radar and has default settings that might not be as advantageous to you as they can be. And that's what a lot of somatic movement does, especially methods like Feldenkrais method. It's like very, very much exploring, okay, what are my habits? What are my postural and movement habits that I'm not only aware of, it's bringing awareness to those so that we can recalibrate them. And I have another video where I'll talk about like why chronically tense muscles, so a habit of chronically tense muscles is so expensive for the body in terms of the resources that it consumes, and also how it inhibits blood and nerve information flowing around in the muscles. Because you can think of, you can see here, right? Like this is information moving. This isn't even showing blood flow, but this is information moving. So if that muscle is chronically tense, you're squeezing that. So electrical and chemical impulses don't move as freely. And people experience this. Like numbness, for example, right? That is an example of when you're tingling. If you have like your arm falls asleep or something, or you're sitting on your leg in a weird way, that's an example of this information being blocked. So in the next video here, we're going to do a practice where we explore a bit more about recalibrating this system and just bringing awareness to this system. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.